Folks, we are going up on a Tuesday, but we're not going up on The Bachelorette. We're not going up on The Real Housewives. We are going up on UB football. A monster game tonight against Bowling Green. I'm joined by Kevin Massari and Joe Cons to break it all down, give us the preview, and see what the keys to victory against Bowling Green and eventually for a MAC title this season are. We'll get into all of it. Horns up. Let's go. Unbelievable. Okay, it's going now. All right, so we'll be back in 30 seconds. I'm pissed at how I ended that, but yeah, I'll kick it to you. I'll kick it. We'll go Kev first, Joe second. I'll just say the one thing UB has got to do tonight, no matter what. Take us off mute in 5 seconds. Folks, we are back again on Maniac, joined by Kevin Massari and Joe Cons. Gents, let's get into it. Bowling Green on deck, UB over 30-point favorites. But with that said, let's throw the numbers aside. What's the one thing that UB, this football team, has to do tonight?
I mean, I think you just got to take the game seriously, Maniac. I think that's the number one thing. No games ever give me in any level of football from high school to college to pros. Even a pro team playing a college team. I mean, you got to always take the game seriously. I mean, they need to run the ball. Bowling Green's historically bad defensively. And it's pretty straightforward. Take it seriously, run the ball with your dynamic running game. And don't let anything else kill you. Turnovers will kill you. Bad special teams play will kill you. Just kind of put that stuff aside. Run the ball, get up early, stay up early. They're not going to stop you on defense. I think it's pretty straightforward, guys.
Yeah, I'd say, I'm right along with Kevin. Control the game right off the bat. You got the gruesome twosome in the MAC. You got Marks Jr. You've got Jarpet. Run the ball. It shouldn't take much from Kyle Van Treese, and even though he had that big game, last week against Miami, Ohio. But don't turn the ball over. Manage the game. Hand the ball off when you can. Defensively, swarm those running backs. Bowling Green's weak in all phases of the game. I can confidently say as a Buffalonian that this is the first time I'm confident going into a football game. The Bulls over 30-point favorites. Just control the game and don't give us any reason to not believe today. Just take over and get the job done.
You said it. Believing is the name of the game for me. I think they are going to take it. They're going to benefit from the 6-game schedule in terms of taking this seriously, not just looking at it as a bump in the road. They're not going to get to play a lot of games. It's pretty easy to get up when you only have 6 on the schedule. The one thing I want to see is dominance in all 3 factors. I think we saw it with the offense and the defense for the most part last week. I'd like to see it in special teams this week. So I'd like
to. Can be what?
Sorry, I had my mic going off. Want to see it in all 3 phases. And again, it starts, like we said, and like I said with those 3 phases, with the offense. I think a lot of us were kind of taken aback, surprised by what we saw from Kyle Van Sheesh last week. Let's start with Cons and then go to Kev. Do you think that, that's a obviously defenses are going to pack the box, whether it's Marks, whether it's Jarpet. Do you think that that was just an advantageous aspect of the game plan for last week, or is that something that this UB offense could be developing into?
I think this is something the UB offense can be developing into. And before the season, I got to be honest, I wasn't very high on Kyle Van Treese. I saw him more as a game manager. But after being up in the press box and just seeing him throw the football, I was impressed with his arm strength. I was impressed with how quick he was getting the ball out. In that first quarter, they were feeling each other out. He looked a little off, but then he started to find his rhythm. He found his groove. Trevor Wilson got open. Antonio Nunn got open. Antonio Nunn blew the cover off that defense last week. But fun fact about Kyle Van Treese, don't know if you guys know this, his mom, his dad, his sister all graduated from Bowling Green State University. His mom was on the swim team. The fact that he's at UB and is probably going to demolish this team tonight is pretty crazy. So, I think, this offense Right now, you have Jarpet, you have Marks Jr., but I think Van Treese is the guy that kind of, has to play up to that ability now. His expectations are a little bit higher now after what we saw last week.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, it's I think I was a Van Treese fan. I kind of last year underneath Myers, I thought the team struggled. 45% completion percentage under Myers. He shows really good athletic ability. He throws the ability to make big plays, but isn't quite, like you mentioned, the game manager that Van Treese is. And that goes a long way because you need to respect the run game. Obviously, everyone that plays Buffalo, whether it's a Power 5 school down to Bowling Green, knows that you need to respect the Buffalo running game. However, now that you have an ability to throw the ball, 64% completion percentage through his first 2 weeks, right on par with where you need him to be. But even more than that, it's the 531 yards and 5 touchdowns that on a 195 quarterback rating is what you have to take notice of. And him finding guys like Trevor Wilson, Zach LaFave, and obviously everyone knows Antonio Nunn, but there's names on the list. Giovanni Ruiz. So even they'll use Dom Johnson when they can. So Bernard Porter is a guy to watch out for. So there are names. There's weapons on this team, and it's going to be a good passing game. I don't know that they're going to 100% always rely on the run this season, like Maniac said. I mean, it's a 6-game season. I think that they're going to have ability to throw the ball, and I think next week particularly will be one against Kent, which could be for the MAC. Quite frankly, I touted them as the second-best MAC school, and it might even be the second-best MAC school in the conference, not even just the East. So I'm interested to see they have a legit quarterback prospect on that side of the ball when they play next week, and that Ohio-Miami game getting cancels will play a role in this whole season as well. But they can throw the ball. They've shown that ability. I'm glad they went in Van Treese. I was kind of on his train from the beginning. And we
see what you did there.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
And it's more than complements the running game. I mean, guys, it's better than I thought it would be. And I'm more than impressed with some of the young receiver talent that's got me happy for maybe days that are post this great running game.
Love to see it. And speaking of things we love to see, top 25? Top 25? I mean, my goodness, you want to talk about changing the landscape, changing the way a program is looked at. Top 25 votes are basically where it starts and ends. When Dabo Swinney got to Clemson, they weren't always getting top 25 votes. Now they're perennially in the top 5, and I get it. That's an extreme example. But look at what Lance has been able to do with this program so far. And obviously a lot of the work is still undone, but the trajectory, you love to see it. And speaking of the top 25, gentlemen, we're getting into some details. And like Ty B had our guy Ty B on TrainwreckSports.com a little earlier today, could be a big chance to be playing for some style points for that top 25 tonight. I mean, you see Kent State put up 62 against Bowling Green last week. The blueprint is there. I have to think that not only are they taking this game seriously, but they want to get a couple more votes, and the only way to do it is to blow out Bowling Green.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. Stay confident, blow out Bowling Green, get a big win next week too. That's what they're after, guys. Is you need that big win. And I think next week's a huge game to give you real legitimate votes, because I think you'll take a commanding lead if you can get it done this week, tonight, like you're going to be able to. And then next week, which is going to be a challenge. Luckily, that game's going to be at UB. So that's good. And I think keep rising on those votes and get it done. Got to cover that though, guys. Got to cover it. I think it matters for the purpose of what we're discussing in this segment. Got to cover it. Winning by 21, okay, we all take it. But that's not what's going to get it done for the grand visions of more votes, MAC championships, and beyond. If they struggle tonight, that's not going to be good for any of that. Let's put that aside. They're going to get it done over 31. That's what they have to do. And I mean, that's how they're going to get those votes. They're not going to get those votes by just winning by 17.
And you said it, Kev. A win is a win. And real quick, before we get into some insider news, I can hear your phone ringing back there. What kind of margin do you both think it takes to get some more points in the top 25 voting? I'm thinking a 40-plus point victory. 40-plus.
I'd say that's accurate. I think you're like Kevin said, you really got to blow them out. This can't be like, we can't go into the Bulls can't go into halftime with a 14-7 lead. It'd be a failure if they're not up 28-7 by the end of the first half. This game has to be a statement game for them to say, we're here and we're ready to stay. And we know it's a shortened season. We understand that. But I think with UB, this has to be, we're up this much at half and we're going to put our foot on the gas and have a complete full 4-quarter game, of complete domination.
The Bulls we're just about 10 minutes from kickoff here, gentlemen. The Bulls will be rocking the blue helmets tonight, and Eric Black will have the honor of wearing the 41 tonight. But that's all we know so far, Kev. I've been looking all day. I haven't been able to get any info on this, and we got insiders, outsiders asking in the chat. Any update on Riggins or Washington going into this game?
No, it's been tough to find info, and
seriously,
I've scoured for it. Might be able to crack a little bit more into UB basketball, but when it comes to the football program, I can't find that information. Good. I mean, I shouldn't know that. So
get out of here.
As long as I don't know it, I think it's good that they can keep that in the vest. But bigger than that, guys, will they hold them out to get them extra rest for bigger games? I don't want to use the word bigger games.
No, it's totally fair. Nobody's taking this game lightly. You get 6 games. You want to win all of them. Like you said, 21-point win.
Game's the game today.
We'll take it. We'll take a 21-point win. But yeah, it's like you said. Do you want to have them dinged up potentially against Bowling Green? Yeah. Good point.
I don't know that. I don't have insider on that, but I would bet, knowing what I know from the coaching staff, they might rest him in this game. If they play, that means they're just fully healthy, like fully ready to go. But any 95, 90%, guys, I think you're going to see those guys rest today and feel pretty good about being able to play and see some of the younger players.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Obviously, you got Bowling Green. The late news out of Bowling Green was a couple of coaches are not going to be able to be present tonight on the sideline. They have been quarantining since, I guess, they got the positive test. But, yeah, that's just another short staff for a team that UB, again, 31.5-point favorites. You can't say much more. So let's get into the numbers here, gentlemen. Let's get into the over-unders. And first, we will start off, again, like we always start off, with the offense. Let's get him up here. Kyle Van Sheesh. So let's see. What did he have last week versus Miami of Ohio? 353. 353 would be pretty audacious. I'm going to set the over-under for Kyle Van Sheesh at 282.5. So a full 70 yards less than he had last week. It'd still be, I think that would be his second most of all time in his career. But yeah, over-under 282.5 yards for Kyle Van Sheesh.
I've been feeling the under lately on just sports in general with going on. You got Monday Night Football last night. I'm gonna have to feel the under on that just because I think you see Matt Myers at some point today. So I'm gonna have to go under. The combination though, maybe over. I think it's possible you see a whole fourth quarter or more of Matt Myers possibly. So I'm going under.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Kevin on this because I think that KVT is going to throw the ball well, but I think there's going to be a point in the game where he's just going to hand the ball off, and I think we're going to see those passing yards just decline. So, and then like Kevin said, we're going to see we should see Matt Myers at some point. So I'll take the under on that.
Okay,
for sure.
Okay, so. I mean, KVT coming off a career game, he might be looking to prove something, but our insiders thinking with the way the game's going to go, again, Myers could be a big factor in that. We're not saying the passing game isn't going to have a great day, but could. So we got 2 unders on that. And then let's go to the backfield, the rest of the backfield, I guess, with the quarterback. Sure. We got Jarpat and Marks. Ooh, what do we got here? Let's see. Okay, couldn't pull them up, but it's okay. Jarpat and Marks, what I'm going to go with is last year when these two teams played, they had a combined 405 yards. I'm going to take 100 off of that. I'm going to take 100. So are they going to be over Pitbull or under Pitbull? Mr. 305, 305 combined yards for Patterson and Marks tonight. The two-headed monster. Are they going to run rampant on Bowling Green? Let's go opposite order. Cons first.
Okay, so just so you guys know, Bowling Green's an FBS worst 50 points per game, giving up 595.5 total yards per game and 302.5 rushing yards per game. Ooh. Give me the over for that, and the fact that Jarpat is 81 yards shy of reaching Anthony Swan for third all-time in school history, and he's 118 yards shy of catching James Starks. So look for those during the game, but give me the over on that. It's a Brian Van Gorder defense. The guy came from Notre Dame, where he was giving up in 2016 50 points, 36 points, and 38 points in 3 games. He got the axe, man. Get him out of there. Over all day.
And a name to watch out for. I mean, I'm going over. I'm actually not feeling great about it because I think you're going to see a lot of Ron Cook Jr. in this game. Sophomore, highly recruited. I believe UB's top recruit from 2 years ago. He's a sophomore this year. So before they knew quite how good their duo would be, they went out and got another great name that might need to follow this up next year if we see someone go to the, not going to say anyone's going to the draft, but let's say we do. going to need that there. So I think today's the day you're going to see Ron Cook Jr. So absolutely over. Can I say with those two combined for over 305? It's aggressive. I still think feeling good about it. But I think you're going to see a good rushing day from Ron Cook Jr. because you're going to see him, like you mentioned, going to hand the ball off. Might be a little Myers, might be a little Ron Cook Jr. for a quarter and a half. So I'm still going over, but Ron Cook Jr. might have 70 to 80 yards alone.
Okay, 2 quick ones then before we go on. Kev,
Shingles can be
over under for Ron Cook Jr. and Myers combined yards 140.
Over.
Okay, so that's a quick over. Okay, so yeah, you're expecting just a complete demolition of Bowling Green. Yeah, that's why I want to lock in those numbers. And the thing I'm looking at real quick while I just go Bowling Green's past opponents. Toledo averaged 6 yards a carry for them. They ran the ball 50 times. That's absurd. That's 310 rushing yards. And then the thing last week against, what was that? Sorry. Was it Kent State they played last week?
Yeah, it was at the 62 points they
gave
up.
Yeah, 62-24. They allowed 3 rushers who rushed it at least 5 times to average 7 yards or more per carry. So come on, if you're Jarpat and your Marks, it's time to feast. And speaking of
carries,
yeah, that's
Ron Cook Jr.
That's true. That's true. This is all fair. This is all fair. Speaking of fair, let's get him up there. We got Landslide pulled on the screen. Is this defense going to make him proud tonight? I'm setting the over-under for points allowed at 16.5. It's a little higher than what Vegas has it at. 16.5 for Bowling Green. So that's 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Do you think that they get that against UB tonight?
No. I'm going 14. I think 14. I feel good about 14. I'm feeling good about 14. I'm going to stick with 14. So if you're setting it there, I'm going, they're not going to reach it.
Okay, we got 14 from Kev. What about you, Cons?
Give me 10. I think that's it. I think that's all they're getting is 10.
Okay, so we got 2 unders. Love to see it, folks. Love to see it. And before we go, we got 2 minutes to kick off. Let's lock it in. Let's start with Cons. Go to Kev, and I'll bring it home. Predictions for tonight, UB Bowling Green.
I think the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, we've talked about it. We've talked about just Bowling Green. I mean, they're saying they're in a rebuild. I have no idea what a rebuild looks like, apparently, if this is a rebuild. I got 62, Bowling Green 10. I think Buffalo is going to put up 60 or more points on this team tonight.
I just think it's going to be a runaway, and like we mentioned in this whole entire pregame, that you're going to see a lot of Ron Cook Jr., potentially McDuffie if he's going to go, and you're going to see Matt Myers. I do think they're going to cover, but I'm more in like the 48 range, 48-14, because I already said they were going to get 14 points. So 48-14 is about where I'm at, and only because they just kind of run the ball out 80 yards from McDuffie and or Cook. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's gonna be a good day. So we'll see how much that equates to the scoreboard, but yeah, I'm having them cover, feeling good about that. Right in that range of right over the over under.
I like Kev's pick. I like the 14 for Bowling Green. I do.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if they get to that. I mean, I have a feeling it's gonna be 14, maybe like a garbage time touchdown. Yeah. But right. I'm gonna go with my gut.
Third stringers.
45-7 Bulls. A complete, dominance. Like you said, 38-7. You get Myers in late third quarter, obviously, or something like that, and you let him have a day. Folks, we are just moments from kickoff. Horns Up pregame show. I'm getting ahead of myself. Stay tuned though. We have the Horns Up halftime show coming up at halftime. I'll be joined by Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack, and she'll probably be giving me a lot of shit, hopefully like the UB Bulls are about to give Bowling Green right now. Gents, horns up. Let's go Bulls.